Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining our discussion today. We are going to talk about something interesting. It's a question many people think about sometimes. The question is it better to prioritize kindness over complete truthfulness? In other words, should we always tell the truth, even if it might hurt someone? Or is it sometimes better to be kind, even if that means not being completely honest? Today, we have two guests to share their ideas. Please welcome Mark. Mark believes kindness is often more important. And please welcome Elena. Elena thinks that being truthful is usually the better choice. Mark and Elena will explain their views, and then we will discuss some situations. Let's begin.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I believe that kindness is extremely important in our lives. How we treat each other matters a lot. It affects our relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. My main point is that focusing on kindness helps us build stronger connections and a more positive environment. Sometimes, telling the absolute, complete truth can cause unnecessary pain or sadness. Think about it. If someone feels bad, does telling them a difficult truth always help them at that moment? Maybe not. We need to think about the other person's feelings. Are we trying to help them, or are we just saying what we think without caring how it affects them? For example, imagine your friend buys a new shirt. They are very excited and feel happy wearing it. They ask you, "Do you like my new shirt?" Maybe you don't like it at all. Maybe you think the color is bad, or the style doesn't suit them. If you say, "No, I don't like it, it looks terrible," how will your friend feel? Probably sad, or maybe even angry. You have hurt their feelings. Was that necessary? Did your honesty help? I don't think so in this situation. Perhaps it's better and kinder to say something less direct. You could say, "It's great that you found something you love," or "You look really happy wearing it." This focuses on your friend's happiness, not your personal opinion of the shirt. This is being polite and considerate. This doesn't mean we should always lie, but it means we should choose our words carefully. We should prioritize not causing harm when the truth isn't essential or helpful in that moment. Being kind often means protecting people's feelings, especially in small, everyday situations. It helps maintain harmony and good relationships.
Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Mark, for sharing your thoughts. I see things a bit differently. For me, truthfulness is the foundation of any strong relationship. Without honesty, how can we truly trust each other? Mark talked about small situations and white lies. Small lies we tell to be polite or avoid hurting someone. But I worry about these small lies. Even if the intention is kind, they can slowly damage trust. If someone finds out you weren't completely honest, even about something small like a shirt, they might wonder, what else are they not telling me the truth about? Trust is built over time, through consistent honesty. It's fragile and can be broken easily. Furthermore, honesty shows respect for the other person. It shows you believe they are strong enough to handle the truth. When we hide the truth, even with good intentions, we are treating the other person like a child who needs protection from reality. Adults deserve the real picture. Think about solving problems. If people aren't honest about what is wrong or what they really think, how can we find real solutions? We can't fix a problem if we don't understand it correctly. Let's take a different example. Imagine a colleague asks for feedback on a report they wrote for work. You read it, and you see some important mistakes or areas that need improvement. If you just say, "Oh, it's great," to be kind, how does that help your colleague? It doesn't help them learn or do a better job next time. They might make the same mistakes again. Telling them honestly, but politely, what needs to be changed shows you respect their work and want them to succeed. It helps them grow. So while I understand the desire to be kind, I believe that genuine respect and long-term trust require truthfulness, even when it's difficult. Honesty is essential.
Thank you both for your opening thoughts. Elena, Mark mentioned small situations like not liking a gift or a shirt. Is honesty always the best way, even if it hurts someone over something quite small and personal?
That's a fair question, Sarah. I understand Mark's point about not wanting to cause unnecessary pain. However, I still believe honesty is usually better, even in small things. It's about consistency. If I'm not honest about small things, why would someone trust me with big things? The pattern matters. Also, there is a difference between being brutally honest and being kindly truthful. About the shirt example Mark gave, maybe I wouldn't say, "That shirt is ugly. That is unkind." But I could find a truthful and kind response. Maybe I could say, "That color is very bright. Is it your new favorite?" This acknowledges the shirt truthfully, without giving a false opinion of liking it. Or, if it's a gift I don't like, I can focus on the giver's kindness. "Thank you so much for thinking of me. That was very kind of you." The focus is on their action, which is true appreciation. So it's not always a choice between harsh truth and a lie. We can often find ways to communicate truthfully while still being sensitive. The goal is maintaining trust for the long relationship.
Okay, thank you, Elena. Mark, Elena argues that even small white lies can damage trust over time. She says honesty shows respect. If we aren't always truthful to protect feelings, how can people really trust us?
I understand Elena's concern about trust. Trust is definitely important. But I think we build trust in different ways. For me, a big part of trust is knowing that someone cares about my feelings. Knowing they won't intentionally say something to hurt me unnecessarily. I believe the reason behind not telling the complete truth matters greatly. Am I omitting a small detail to avoid pointless conflict or sadness? Or am I lying to deceive someone or gain an advantage? These are very different things. If my friend knows I care about them, they might understand that sometimes I choose kindness over absolute, potentially painful honesty in small matters. They trust my intention. Think about compassion. Compassion means understanding and caring about others' suffering. Sometimes, the kindest action is to soften the truth or focus on the positive. Maybe trust isn't just about hearing the absolute truth every single time. Maybe it's also about knowing someone has your back, emotionally. They care enough not to cause you pain if it can be avoided. So, I think trust can still exist, perhaps even be stronger, when people know you prioritize their well-being and feelings in your communication.
Let's explore another situation. Think about giving feedback, maybe at work or school. Someone asks for your opinion on their project or essay. Is it better to be very direct with criticism, which might hurt their feelings or confidence? Or should we be softer, even if that means the feedback is less clear?
This is a really important area. Giving feedback can be difficult. Personally, I lean towards a gentler approach, especially at first. If you are too direct, too critical, especially with someone who might already lack confidence, you risk discouraging them completely. They might feel attacked or stupid. They might stop trying or avoid asking for feedback in the future. Is that helpful? No. We want people to learn and improve, not give up. I think it's often better to use what some people call the sandwich method. You start with something positive, then give the suggestion for improvement gently, and end with more encouragement. For example, you've clearly put a lot of work into this part, which is great. Maybe think about adding more detail here to make your point stronger. Overall, you're definitely moving in the right direction. This feels kinder. It still gives the feedback, but it balances it with positive comments. It protects the person's motivation while guiding them. Too much harsh truth can be destructive.
That's a practical suggestion, Mark. Elena, Mark worries that direct honesty and feedback can discourage people. How can we give necessary, honest feedback without causing that negative effect? Is the sandwich method enough? Or is there a better way to be truthfully helpful?
Mark's point about not discouraging people is valid. Nobody wants to crush someone's spirit. But I think we can be direct and honest and kind at the same time, without hiding the necessary information. The key is how we deliver the truth. It's about, quote, constructive criticism. This means the criticism is intended to help the person build something better, not tear them down. First, be specific. Don't just say, "This is bad." Say exactly what needs improvement. For example, the introduction is a bit unclear. Perhaps you could state your main point earlier. Second, focus on the work, not the person. Say, this section needs more examples, not, you are bad at giving examples. This makes it less personal and easier to accept. Third, offer help or suggestions if you can. Would you like to brainstorm some ideas together? Or, here's an article that explains this concept well. This shows you support their improvement. The sandwich method Mark mentioned can be okay, but sometimes the positive parts hide the real message. Clear, specific, kind, and action-focused honesty is often more respectful and ultimately more helpful for growth. Avoiding the truth doesn't help anyone improve.
Thank you, Sarah. Listening to Elena, I understand the importance she places on truth. But as we conclude, I want to return to my main belief. I believe that kindness should very often be our main guide when we communicate. Life involves many interactions, big and small. Kindness helps make these interactions smoother and more pleasant for everyone. It helps us build bridges between people, not walls. When we are kind, we show we care about the other person's experience and feelings. This isn't about telling big lies or deceiving people. It's about being sensitive. It's about choosing our words carefully. It's about asking ourselves what is most helpful and least harmful in this specific moment. Sometimes, the most helpful thing is not the complete, unfiltered truth, especially if that truth serves no real purpose other than expressing our own opinion or criticism. Think about empathy. Empathy means trying to understand how someone else feels, putting ourselves in their shoes. If we practice empathy, our words will naturally become kinder. We will pause before speaking. We will consider the impact. We will prioritize maintaining the relationship and the other person's emotional well-being when possible. So, while honesty has its place, I believe that in many everyday situations, leading with kindness, compassion, and a desire to maintain harmony is the better, more human approach. It makes the world a little bit better.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Mark. I respect Mark's emphasis on kindness and empathy. They are certainly important values. However, in conclusion, I must stand by the fundamental importance of truthfulness. Honesty is not the opposite of kindness. They can and should work together. But truth must be the base. Without it, relationships become weak, built on guesses and hidden information, not real understanding. Trust erodes. We talked about feedback. Honest feedback, delivered constructively, is a gift. It helps people learn, improve, and achieve their potential. Avoiding truth to spare temporary discomfort can actually harm someone's long-term growth. We talked about small white lies. While the intention might be kind, they create doubt. They can make people question your sincerity in more important matters. Consistency and honesty builds reliability. Being truthful shows respect. It says, I trust you to handle this information. I value our relationship enough to be open with you. Hiding things can feel like disrespect. Of course, we must be kind in how we deliver truth. Honesty without kindness can be cruel, but kindness without honesty can be misleading and unhelpful. Therefore, I believe that striving for honesty, tempered with kindness and sensitivity, is the best path. It leads to more genuine connections, clearer communication, effective problem-solving, and ultimately, stronger, more respectful relationships.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Elena, for sharing your perspective so clearly today. This has been a very interesting and thoughtful discussion. We heard strong arguments on both sides. Mark emphasized the importance of kindness, empathy, and protecting feelings to maintain harmony. Elena highlighted the need for truthfulness as the foundation for trust, respect, and genuine growth in relationships. It seems the real challenge lies in finding the right balance in different situations. When does kindness become more important, and when is truth essential? We hope this discussion gives our viewers something to think about regarding their own conversations. Thank you all for watching. Good